guys, here I am. I wanted to show you the results of my last painting, but I also want to answer a question that actually a couple people have posed, and that is, how do I go in, meaning me, and what do I do to clean up some of the negative space in here? So what I usually tend to do, and I'll show you, is some of these areas, like they're here, some of them in here, I'll just take some black paint and paint over them. So what I'm going to do here in a minute is I'm going to set my camera up and probably do a time lapse. And I'm not going to clean these up. I like the way they are. They aren't perfect, but I think it looks good around the periphery of the edge right here. So I'm just going to clean up a little bit. I don't know, maybe some here, these through here, and maybe right in there, and possibly in there. Okay, guys, I'm going to set the camera up for time lapse. Okay guys, just a quick run through of the sort of section where I cleaned up the little speckles that were in there. So as you can see, it looks pretty good from a distance here, which is what I wanted. I kept those on the edge because I think just needed a little bit of interest. Let me move in. Now, you might see some glare from my window. So I want to point out something. See that kind of, you can see like the way the black looks uneven, I guess. That's only because I used Artist Loft Acrylic Flow Black right out of the bottle and just painted it over the areas. I didn't use any Floetrol, which makes it slightly more cloudy. Of course, you wouldn't know unless you did what I did and painted over it. The cool thing about it though is that when I varnish it, it's gonna be all black. You won't see any of the differences. So if you can just see, I went in and I cleaned up some of the areas. Yeah, that's all I did. This one didn't have a whole lot. Sometimes there's a lot to do. And maybe one day, if I have a lot to do, I will show you guys again. But yeah, so stay tuned. In just a couple moments here, I will start my new pour. Hey guys, it's Dwight, I'm back. How are you? So I'm gonna take a minute here to show you how I mix my paints for these Puddle, Pour, and Swirls. First, let me just introduce you to the colors we're going to be using today. I'm going to be using DecoArt's Dazzling Metallics Peacock Pearl, and I have DecoArt's Dazzling Metallics Shimmering Silver, and I also have DecoArt Metallics Ice Blue, which is my favorite, and DecoArt's Metallic White Pearl. So what I usually use is, I don't usually measure my pours like I used to. I know I put recipes down that say 1 part paint, 2 part Floetrol, and then a drizzle of Liquitex pouring medium in water. But I'm going to show you what I've been doing more recently. That recipe is more of a guide to help you sort of think about proportions. So I opened the bottle, it's about 2 ounces, and I pour it in. I usually leave it upside down a little bit to make sure I get the rest of it out. I used to have a dropper to fill with water in there, but I don't have that today. So leave that there for a minute, and literally, Liquitex pouring medium, just a little drizzle. That's about all I do. Now this is my Floetrol. I've already strained it because you know it can get kind of gunky. So I always strain it, put it in a cup. Then I use this cup as my dump cup. So I just pour it in. That's about enough. And then stir it. Now as you can tell, it's going to be thick because the paint was thick and so is the Floetrol. So you can see it's pretty thick. So what I tend to do is, I know this is a big glass of water, so this isn't probably the best way of doing it, but I pour just a little bit in at a time. And I keep stirring it until I get the consistency that I'm happy with. And the consistency I'm going to be happy with today is going to be a very thin consistency. So I can still add some more water, just a little bit more. Remember, if you add too much, what do? You add more Floetrol because it'll thicken it up. Or if you have some leftover paint, add more paint, it'll thicken it up. So just go slow and take your time. So I don't know if you can see that. That's just about right. Maybe just a tad more water. There we go. That should be enough. Okay, so let me stir this up and I'll show you how thick it is. Or I should say how thin it is. Okay. Perfect. Okay guys, I'm gonna mix up the rest, then I'm gonna prep the canvas and we'll see you in a few. Okay guys, here I am back with I think this is the final results. I do not think it's going to move much anymore. I'll let it sit for about 30-40 minutes, and as you saw probably in the last bit, the time lapse it sped up and it really filled in. Has this great sort of circular piece to it. Yeah, I'm liking it, and the colors are beautiful. So I'm just trying to get in a good position so that the glare isn't too overwhelming. It's so hard to do that, but let me show you some close-up of the cells. It's interesting, they're mixed through here. You move down, then there's a couple layers here, and then it's pretty much one. I think that actually is probably the shimmering silver with some of the blue in it. And then here are the corners down here. Got some negative space. I was kind of liking this perspective, except for the window, my arch nemesis. So yeah, I'm just sort of digging on it, hoping you guys like it as well. There we go, that's a good shot. So again, when it comes to these type of pours, you have to pay attention to how much paint you're using. I used a 16-ounce cup to use as the dump paint, and I put down probably a little more than 10 ounces of the Puddle paint because I needed, I think, 25 to cover the surface and another 2 or 3 to make sure it goes over the edges. So I probably had a good, I would say close to 30 something ounces of paint. So it worked out fine, and I think I got some good coverage and I got some good cell reaction. And yes, guys, I hope you like it. I'm digging it. And I don't think I'm gonna go in and clean anything up. Remember I told you last time, or the beginning of this video, that sometimes I go in, there's some like it's hard to see the way the light is, but these are really light little shadowy things. It's really kind of cool. So, okay guys, that's it for today. You will see me at the end of the week, and you guys take care.